Balake. Where's Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is right here, everyone. Thank you for joining me for some more SPTV on this fine Thursday afternoon. Remember, guys, every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Well, guys, as many of you know, it is wartime. It is time to go to war. Clearwater, Florida is in the middle of election season for its Clearwater City Council members. And Mark Bunker is the only member of the Clearwater City Council willing to call out Scientology publicly for its abusive policies and practices, not just against its own members, but its horrible activity and behavior as a community partner in Clearwater, Florida. Now, you would think that by now, other politicians in this area would understand that Scientology does not have nearly the size and influence that it pretends to have, that it claims to have. You would think that Mark Bunker would have who has led by example and set the example, that you can win a citywide popular vote by having a public platform of standing up to Scientology abuse. And yet Clearwater's political establishment continues to be terrified of Scientology. Exhibit number 1 is likely future mayor of Clearwater, Kathleen Beckman. She's just finished a successful first four-year term as a city council member. She's going to be running for mayor. If you ask me, she's got a very good chance of winning. Kathleen Beckman is yet another one of Scientology's useful idiots. And I'm going to show you exactly, I'm going to show you a clip, I'm going to show you an example, and this is all to reinforce why it is so important that we help Mark Bunker win his reelection. The election is in 6 months. March 19th, I think it is. Check it out. I'm going to show you a clip from a recent news segment about downtown Clearwater, where Kathleen Beckman refuses to say the word Scientology. Check this out.
The city of Clearwater wants you to want Coachman Park. City leaders see it as key to downtown Clearwater's future.
It's an $84 million park. It is expensive, but it is just transformative. It's iconic. It'll be the heart of our downtown.
What has been preventing it from being all it could be?
Well, you know, we have some larger landowners that have some buildings that haven't been fully activated. That's a challenge.
Because, yeah, anyone who visits downtown Clearwater knows there's something kind of uncanny valley about it. Like you're walking past those fake storefronts at Disney World.
Okay, that is the end of that clip. Now, larger landowners or large landowners is the euphemism that local politicians use when they're trying to somehow discuss what's wrong with downtown Clearwater, but don't have the balls, the courage, the spine, the nerve to even say the word Scientology. Because when it comes time for election or re-election, people like Kathleen Beckman want to be able to pander to the Scientologists behind closed doors and want to use examples such as this as, I've gone out of my way not to contribute to bad PR on Scientology. I can't help it if I get asked what's wrong with downtown, but in my answers, I don't throw you guys under the bus. Now you might go, come on, Aaron, you're reaching a little bit here. Just wait, guys. Here's the next clip I'm going to queue up for you. I should have had it ready to go. Look at me. I'm all, damn it. You guys know how much I hate dead air. Okay, let me get the next clip ready. I thought I had it ready and I didn't. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1.25. We're almost there. Okay, here we go.
Okay, let's go right to left. We'll start with you this evening.
All right. Well, I wanted to start by saying thank you to the Church of Scientology for allowing the city to utilize the parking lot on the east side of Osceola for the library. I believe we have about at least 50 spots there dedicated for the main library parking. and it's much appreciated. We've gotten a number of emails about the lack of parking for residents and patrons of the library, and now that's opened up, and for people who attend council meetings.
You might think, why in the hell would anyone spend 30 seconds of their closing arguments specifically thanking the Church of Scientology for allowing people to park outside of a library? By the way, I mean, that's like Tina Turner thanking Ike for taking off his rings before he hit her. Like Scientology is waging an economic war against downtown Clearwater. The only reason Scientology is even in the conversation about parking spaces is because they've purchased up all the private parking lots in downtown Clearwater. And even though the parking lots are sitting there empty and there's no one to use them because there's hardly even any Scientologists in Clearwater, believe it or not, all those parking lots are roped off and are considered private property, and no one's allowed to park there without express permission. And I mean, thank God Scientology cares about a few extra parking spaces for a public library. I mean, their own workers aren't allowed to, go home and visit their families on Thanksgiving or Christmas or anniversaries or holidays or funerals. I mean, Scientology doesn't care enough to protect its own children from abuse. But Kathleen Beckman, my God, thank God Scientology let a few people use their parking lot outside of the library. That deserves a public recognition. I mean, it is so ridiculous, you guys. Kathleen Beckman takes meetings with Scientology all the time. Now, look, I don't actually blame public officials for taking meetings with Scientology. I think communication, more communication, even if it's bullshit, is better than no communication at all. The problem is when officials like Kathleen Beckman either believe or even repeat and forward just blatant lies, just propaganda lies from Scientology that anyone with two brain cells rubbed together would know are not true. And, so I guarantee you, if you were to confront Kathleen Beckman with all of the property purchases that have been done in downtown Clearwater, hundreds of properties purchased for multiple times higher than market value for all cash. And Kathleen would say, "What Scientology says they're not associated with those purchases. Those are just public Scientologists who are doing all that." And Mr. Miscavige says he has absolutely no involvement. He doesn't even know what's going on. See, to people like Kathleen Beckman, it's a he said, she said. How are we to know? How are we to know the truth of the matter? We're not Scientologists. Useful idiots, guys. Useful idiots. On the subject, I'm going to play another little video clip for you from failed actor and prominent Scientologist Jim Meskimen. And public officials like Kathleen will repeat lies from Scientology, such as the one I just said. David Miscavige says he has absolutely no involvement with any of the hundreds of millions of dollars of cash property purchases that have occurred in downtown Clearwater, and has no idea why they're all sitting vacant and there's been no plan submitted to the city for improvement and they're not occupied. And I'm going to play a little video clip from Jim Meskimen talking about how David Miscavige seems to know everything that's going on in the lives of every Scientologist, and it's practically a superpower. Let me pull it up here. Jim Meskimen, and here we go. Come on now.
I also noticed that when you talk to him, he knows a little bit about what you're doing. It's not uncommon for him to go, "Hey, I heard about this thing that you have going on." And I'm like, how can he know that? But he obviously has a great capacity for knowing what the team is doing, knowing what his friends are doing. And I'm always impressed by that. I'm impressed by everything he does. I don't understand how David Miscavige, I would love to see what he does in a day. I think it would be absolutely flabbergasting. It would be like following Superman around. It's like, it's mind-boggling. I don't know how he does it, but I'm really, really grateful that he does it.
All righty then. It's mind-boggling, you guys. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, David Miscavige knows what's going on in the life of a D-list actor like Jim Meskimen, but he has no idea what's going on with the hundreds of millions of dollars of property purchased in downtown Clearwater surrounding Scientology's most important Sea Org base, the one base that Miscavige essentially personally oversees the operation of. He doesn't know anything about that, you guys. Just ask Kathleen Beckman. She'll tell you. She'll tell you that Mr. Miscavige claims he's not involved, so he's not involved. What can we do? We weren't there. What can we do? Anyway, calling these guys useful idiots is being a bit generous, because I think these guys know exactly what they're doing. I don't think Kathleen Beckman is actually a stupid person. I think she is someone who is being willfully ignorant of Scientology's fraud and abuse and is terrified of offending them, and will do anything she can to curry favor with a small group of people that she really hopes will vote for her. Now, Mark Bunker, like I said, he's the only one. Did you guys actually know a Scientologist not only has never been elected to the Clearwater, Florida City Council, a Scientologist has never even attempted to run, because that is how bad Scientology's public relations is in Clearwater and Pinellas County and Tampa Bay. It would be quite literally impossible for a Scientologist to get elected. In fact, David Miscavige and his Office of Special Affairs has prohibited Scientologists from trying to run for office, because it would serve as a lightning rod for a heightened level of criticism of Scientology in the local press. A Scientologist very specifically requested permission to run for city council, both in Clearwater and in Dunedin, and was told in no uncertain terms, you are not permitted to do that. Now, so in some way, my saying that it kind of serves to, I'm trying to point up how Scientology doesn't have the kind of influence in Clearwater, Florida, like, say, the Mormon Church has in Salt Lake City, right? So it's both a function of how few Scientologists there actually are in the world and in Clearwater, and also just how horrible their reputation is. On the flip side, it's not necessary for Scientology to have one of its own members on the council, because the corrupting influence of their money has been significant in Clearwater's political establishment. Our current mayor, Brian Ongst, his son is the one helping David Miscavige and his agents buy up all the property in downtown Clearwater. The former mayor, Frank Hibbard, his campaign manager in his first campaign was Scientology's lobbyist. Frank Hibbard's best friend, Joe Burdett, is currently Scientology's lobbyist. Why would Scientology go through the trouble of getting its own members on the city council when it has useful idiots like Kathleen Beckman and Frank Hibbard and Brian Ongst, et cetera, doing Scientology's job for them? This is why it is so important for us to help Mark Bunker get reelected. It is why Scientology is going to do everything in their power to make sure he does not get reelected. And let me share with you Mark Bunker's campaign website. It's Mark Bunker 2024. I have it linked in the description down below. We are about less than 3 weeks into the campaign season, and with all of your guys' help, the fundraising so far has been incredible. The first monthly campaign report, I think, will be submitted on Tuesday, and I'll give you guys an update on how that fundraising has been going. If we keep the pace that we have set in the first 2.5 weeks, I believe we will raise more money than has ever been raised for a Clearwater City Council election. Guys, we are going to raise so much money. We are going to cover Clearwater with so many postcards of Mark Bunker's pretty face. Even the Scientologists will be voting for Mark Bunker. Guys, the website is markbunker2024.com. It's linked in the description down below. If you're watching this video and you're in the United States, you're a United States citizen, please consider donating a few dollars. I would consider it a personal favor. I'm going to be doing everything in my power to help Mark get reelected. So a couple other thoughts on this. I have even told Mark Bunker to please spread the word to his fellow council members, which is difficult because they're not allowed to talk to each other in private, or to please help spread the word to anyone running for city council. That it's not like I expect any of these guys to come out and condemn David Miscavige the same way that I condemn David Miscavige. It would be enough for them just to say something like, just like Kathleen Beckman wants to take her closing comments to thank Scientology. If any of the guys on that council took took a moment of their closing statements to say something like, I just want to say for the record to the people of Clearwater, to the people who voted for us, to the people who may not even watch these meetings, I don't want there to be any confusion. We are not fooled by Scientology or David Miscavige. We know what Scientology is trying to do to our downtown, and we may not know what to do about it, but we just want you to know they don't have us fooled. We are not their useful idiots, and we're not going to give up until we figure out what to do about it. Now, guys, that's not an incredibly controversial thing to say, is it? And yet anyone on that council, any of the guys or gals on that council who would make a statement like that, I would do a video. I would do a video asking the people of Clearwater to support that person. Because here's what happens up until now. Here's what has happened up until now. Some of these council members talk a very strong game about Scientology in private behind closed doors when no one's listening. But in public, when speaking to the press, at city council work sessions, at city council meetings, all of a sudden, they're just fair and neutral Switzerland. Everyone's a part of the community. Yes, everyone is a part of the community. But not all members of the community are trying to sabotage the city of Clearwater and the economic activity in the downtown core. And if as an elected representative, you don't have the awareness or the courage to call out bad actors who are quite literally trying to destroy the economic activity of our downtown core, then how can the people of Clearwater trust you? If you're someone who's really strong in private, but you're a total pussy in public, why should anyone vote for you? And I believe that people who are weak in public like that are doing it because at the end of the day, they want the vote of the Scientologists. Guys, there's only about 1,000 to 1,800 voting Scientologists in the city of Clearwater. We got 120,000 citizens. The problem is that voter turnout in Clearwater is about 25%, but the voting turnout for Scientologists is 100%. And but anyway, anyone, even people, someone who's not Mark Bunker, who actually chooses to take a strong stand against Scientology publicly, can expect support from the SP Nation. At least if I've got anything to say about it. Okay, I did write some notes. Let me make sure that I haven't missed anything I wanted to say in this video. I think we're good there. That's fine. I think we've said enough. There's so many more videos I want to do today, guys, and I'm going to try to discipline myself to do them. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button while you're down there. Hit that notification bell. Just go crazy. Thank you, everybody who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.